change your style. Okay, be like that. Life no be a serious something, still no be a play something. When you wake up for morning, make you thank the Lord. So I say jump, jump, clap your hands, mama, 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 yo. This is a love song for the whole world to dance. And I say jump, jump, clap your hands, mama, 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 yo. I hope you're happy enough to dance. Jankara, Jankara, maketo Jankara. Auntie, how maketo Jankara. Jankara, maketo Jankara. Ijolele danso. Not only passing where they breathe the chill, not only passing where no seek the dance. Even if you just to seek be healed, even if you never chop the field, life no be a serious something, still no be a place something. When you wake up for morning, make you thank the Lord. And I say jump, jump, clap your hands, mama, 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 yo. This is a love song for the whole world to dance. And I say jump, jump, clap your hands, mama, 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 yo. I hope you're happy enough to dance. And I say Jankara, Jankara, maketo Jankara. Broda, maketo Jankara. Jankara, maketo Jankara. Ijolele danso.
Well, Jankara Market, and with that, that is coming from Attila. My name is Oladapo Kunubi. With that, we welcome you to Kickoff Sports Show this morning. And Favor Lorenzula is here. Well, the market was sweet for some team.
Let us look at what's going on. Philadelphia 76ers center and MVP hopeful Joel Embiid put together arguably the best game of the season on Tuesday to deliver a 103-101 home win against the Boston Celtics. But the 29-year-old, who has finished as runner-up in the past two MVP votes, had never scored more than 50 points in a game prior to this season. But he has done that 3 times this campaign, alerted a 59 points, 11 rebounds, 8 assists, 7 blocks, showing against the Utah Jazz in November. Well, there were some games that were played on the wee hours of this morning, and
yes, and Favor, you will do us
I'm gonna do the
honors to take the results.
I wish I could close together. This is a good one this morning. No wonder Oladapo could be so happy. Well, Golden State Warriors defeated Oklahoma City Thunder 136 points to 125, while LA Lakers by 2 points defeating Utah Jazz 135 points to 1. You never cease to amaze me. If you want to win, you win by a margin of 2, margin of 1, margin of 3. You don't do more than that.
Are you done?
I'm done.
Okay.
But at least you won.
Anybody that does not want us to win, back to sender.
Let's go. All is in order. For my shoulder.
In case you don't know, I carry LA Lakers on my shoulder. Golden State Warriors in my bag. So let's move away from the NBA this morning. Let us talk tennis. As things will be changing, you may be seeing some players on the court and some not on the court. As the defending champion, Rafael Nadal remains a doubt for French Open after pulling out of next week's Monte Carlo Masters with an ongoing hip injury. The Spanish world number 14 has won the tournament in Monaco 11 times but is not fit to return to action. The 36-year-old has not played since his straight sets second round.
5-0 back in October, away by Coman. It comes here to Höfler! Thunderous! Nicolas Höfler! Man and boy, 18 years on Freiburg's candle to this. Wonderful. In added time, the ball sent long for Freiburg. Can they smash and grab? Up goes Lucas Höhler. Höfler! Oh, they claim the handball! Penalty! At the end of the 92nd minute of the game, Musiala handles Höfler's shot, and referee Harm Osmus says it is a golden shot for Freiburg. The pressure on the shoulders of Lucas Höhler for Freiburg, who've never won away to...
There, but hey, one man who was fantastic last night happens to be the goalkeeper of Freiburg. That is Marco Flecken. And they say, well, one of the most memorable nights for his team, but are they good for the final? Remember, they just moved to a round up before the final.
Yeah, it's just unbelievable. We invested so much today. The guys in front of me put up a lot of work. Yeah, and when you, like I said, when you're
Correct example of hard work really pays. Let's look at the fixtures for today in the DFB Cup quarterfinals. FC Nuremberg will be up against VfB Stuttgart, and RB Leipzig will take on Borussia Dortmund.
Okay, well, for Borussia Dortmund, all they need to do is to also forget the defeat they had against Bayern Munich in a German Bundesliga.
Juventus set to take the lead in this first semi-final. Dumfries. And cleared away. Gosens, they're after it. The penalty has been awarded. Handball to send the tie square to San Siro. Lukaku sends Perin the wrong way. Lukaku scores the equalising goal and is then sent off in the celebration. The final whistle goes. A red card as well for Semir Handanovic, as well as Cuadrado. It finishes Juventus.
I'm not saying you. Okay, I know you have. Okay. Favor has a Real Madrid jersey. You should understand.
You have all the jerseys. You should understand.
I have a Real Madrid jersey. I have Barcelona.
Okay,
I have
so,
Bayern.
Yeah,
I have Manchester United.
Okay, so we do not even know where you stand. So
Yes,
do
you
not
cannot
even
know.
put me.
You cannot know where I stand. But I stand with a particular team in Ikene, Ogun State.
That one is it's something we all know about.
Okay, so before going into the Premier League, let's talk about what happened in Mexico. What happened in Liga MX game. Mexican referee Fernando Hernandez will serve a 12-match suspension after kneeing a player in the Luca Romero as he and his teammates surrounded the official during Sunday's 2-2 draw, demanding a VAR review into an American
night. So I decided to make 6 changes. That is always against a good football team can be a big problem. 3 of them in the last line, which is obviously a real challenge for the players. And we could see in the first few minutes they went with their direct playing behind the last line. Yeah, we had a few problems there. Apart from that, they had their chances after we lost balls. In moments where you just cannot lose balls, that's now a problem. We keep a little bit, that's not good, but the recovery after that, the desire to sort the situation, I liked. So, yeah, I said, not the most spectacular one, but a step for us, a little step, but a step in the right direction.
Easter Sunday. I want to talk about this game, actually.
Okay.
Arsenal would feel as though Liverpool are at their worst, so they might not want to put more effort into playing Liverpool.
They play.
Yes.
They play.
I'm serious. Arsenal
No, I'm
would,
just saying
would
they
want
play.
underestimate. But honestly, Jurgen Klopp sounds like someone who is tired of the team. Actually, the way he's speaking.
No,
is
I
actually
didn't feel.
tired.
I didn't feel he's tired of the team.
He's
I
just
felt
tired.
he got relieved because he felt if his team had lost against a managerless Liverpool,
Okay,
managerless Chelsea,
probably
that would be a big
you
problem
would have faced
ahead
the same
of
fate of Graham
Arsenal's
Potter.
game.
God, I feel that Arsenal shouldn't just, Mikel Arteta should not relent in this game. It's looking like
On Sunday.
Yes, it's looking like a game that is too easy, but it's going to be a very difficult one.
Okay. Favor has spoken. But hey, let's look at Chelsea will be facing Wolverhampton Wanderers. Let's also see if there will be salt in Chelsea's team to enjoy the game against Wolves. They're going on the road. But hey, let's look at all the results of games decided. Leicester City continue their poor run of form in the Premier League, losing 1-2 against. Okay, so that was the game of the managerless Leicester City against Aston Villa last night. But let's just quickly run through games going down tonight in the Premier League. Manchester United will surely be in action tonight, and all they need to do is to see how they can be better after that defeat they had against Newcastle United.
Oh, Lex, please just be watchful of Brentford, and I hope that Brentford do not shock you this night. But we also have a game. Oh, there's something from that. Oh boy.
But Fraser also Kuras will be missing that one, although Wheelock is questionable for the clash tonight, as Skammakar for West Ham United is also questionable for the game tonight. Okay, so that's the updates coming from the league games. But let's come back home. Let's talk about the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Go jump on Super Falcons of Nigeria Twitter handle. According to updates we are getting, now they're having players coming into camp ahead of the friendly game in Antalya, Turkey against Haiti and New Zealand. Well, remember the tweet coming from Super Falcons Twitter handle yesterday has that, according to the coach, our contingents from Nigeria landed safely in Antalya. And, well, a lot is going down. The battle for the Senate presidential seat. Well, one man is saying he's old enough to be the Senate president of Nigeria because of the years he has spent,
especially 5 years
at the Senate.
Yes, been in the House of Representatives.
And one man is also saying that Emilokon, but that when Bola Ahmed Tinubu said Emilokon, people supported him. But when he said Emilokon for the Senate president, people were against him. The young ones at the Senate were against him. All right, but guys, well, remember, my name is Oladapo Kunubi, aka Young Struck, and I remember we're still live on Facebook and YouTube, Solutions 939 FM.
And my name is Favor or Lawrence Ola. We'll catch you in a jiffy.
We dey so say you no hold cash, no me say wahala dey o. You want send money to Male for Villa, just use Momo. You want buy recharge card or data, just use Momo. You want pay for market where you buy, just use Momo. You fit use Momo run plenty things without cash, as long as you get Momo account. No cash, no wahala, and it dey easy to open o. Just that *671# to make you fit dey pay for anything, send and receive money sharp sharp, because life dey simple with Momo.
Ibadan! Elections are over and it's time to come together as one. Join Benga Dink and friends at Laugh Matters the Southwest Unity Tour. Featuring Q-Dot, FaZe, SGXY, Jesse King Puga, Okebakasi, Funky Malam, Omar Baba, Dr. Smile, Baba Laria, General Lack, DJ Sexy, Baba Kamo, Archbishop, Wally Agba, Lepashos Bosse, Nepa Boys, Koja, Tai Chi, Paul the Good Guy, and more. Regular 3K, VIP 10K, Table of 8, Gold 250K, Platinum 500K. Tickets available at Fuko Supermarket Outlet, Gracie Mart Akobo, Grand X Store Outlet, Ultima Restaurant Outlet, Filmhouse Cinema Dugbe, and Samonda. Hescent Palms Mall and online at ariatickets.com. Date is the Sunday, 9th of April. Venue, Jogos Center Ibadan. Time, 3 p.m. Powered by Maltina and Goldberg. Supported by the Oyo State Government. Laugh Matters, Ibadan. Kosi Pressure. Media partners.
Solutions 93.9 FM.
Kadara, destiny. Who decides where we are born?
Gangs of Lagos na the ogbonge tori of Isaleko Street King, Obalola and im gang, with better actor and celebrity them like Toby Bakari, Adesuwa Tomi Wellington, Chike, Iyabo Ojo, and plenty big names them. Chai! Gangs of Lagos na correct film. Download Prime Video now. Make yourself enjoy 7-day free trial. Terms and conditions dey o. Oh yeah, jump to Prime Video.
News, sports, entertainment. Top 100 music on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
All right, it's 27 minutes to 10. You're on to your number one radio dial solutions 93.9 FM. My name is Adedamola Lafenwa, and it's my pleasure to welcome you on to the From the Daily segment of AM Update. It's another beautiful Wednesday morning. It's going to be a winning Wednesday for every one of us by His grace. Once again, I'm saying good morning.
Well, good morning to you as well. Once again, I'm Favor Oloruntola, taking stories from the Nigerian Tribune and the Nation newspaper this morning.
I'll be taking stories from the Punch newspaper as well as the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Okay, taking my first shot at the Punch newspaper this morning, and I'm taking it from the CAP headlines. Foreign investors shown Kano Rivers Ogun 24 states. That story is on page 21. Naira crisis, cash circulation low. NLC tells CBN. That story is on page 11 of the Punch newspaper this morning. Moving further, still on the CAP headlines, Nigeria more divided than Civil War era, Sanusi. Now moving to the what I would like to call the banner headline this morning, and it's saying it's saying post-election threats. Obi Dati risk treason charges. FG warns. And riders to that, LB presidential candidate deputy calling for insurrection treasonable. Minister. And another rider says Obi should face the law, says APC. FG's allegation reckless, say Obi. PDP. Reps condemn calls for interim government. Ask DSS to arrest enemies of democracy. And there's this. There are two pictures on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning, talking about the trial or the court appearance of the immediate past president of the U.S. That is Donald Trump, a man that is always in the news.
And it's historic one there for the United States. That
yes,
the first
I mean.
president to ever appear in court after his
Immediately after his tenure.
I'm like, this man is just one person that never ceased to appear in the news.
It's just to buttress the fact that no one is above the law, whether you are past president or governor. Okay, moving further, still on Donald Trump. Protest as Trump pleads not guilty to criminal charges. Now the shoe headlines. I have this one that says Ramadan. Avoid offensive sermons, Etsu Nupe tells clerics. Whitney, Corona okays Christland's independent autopsy. You find that story on pages 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper this morning. And the very last one I'll be taking says, Afenifere crisis deepens. Youths ask Adebanjo to step down. These and many more stories will be found on the pages of the Punch newspaper this morning.
All right, that's still on treason allegation. We're starting that with the Nigerian Tribune. Obi knocks Lai Mohammed. Your accusation malicious, facetious, it says, as minister accuses him of treason, inviting insurrection. Says INEC without upholding presidential result on suspicion of cyber attack. NCC denies tracking, leaking Obi's phone conversation with Oyedepo. That's on page 21 of the Punch newspaper. We also have this one. Buhari orders NASC NI boss to vacate office as Adamawa PDP insists on rec removal. Says Adamawa people would never surrender mandate. I have no preferred candidate in Kogi. Atiku. NAS President, presiding officers, APC governors meet today. North Central governors will settle for consensus on speakership. Kwara governor. Southwest APC leaders. Northern governorship, governor pushing for Tajudeen as a rep speaker. Only zoning can stop me from race. Kwara rep Olumuye. Reps condemn call for interim government. Query why Obasanjo Dati were not questioned. And we also have this one, court orders interim forfeiture of the Master DG's 725 million Naira Benalla Island property. And Media Group slams NBC over 5 million fine on Channel TV. We always say the fare of NBC
is the beginning of wisdom. Okay, moving to the Vanguard newspaper this morning and starting from the cap headlines. Treasury looters using foreign currency exchange to launder funds. Giaba warns. Alleged treason. Stop harassing people. Ayo Adebanjo, Ilyazu tell FG. Moving further, Tinubu presidency. Sanusi may return as CBN governor. That's quite interesting. Okay, that story is on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Media groups tackle NBC over 5 million naira fine against Channels TV. And moving to the banner headline on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper this morning, subsidy removal will set Nigeria on fire. NLC wants government, and riders to that says incoming government should focus on local refining, not subsidy. Insists Labour won't accept fuel price hike in the name of subsidy removal. And another one says deregulation, not subsidy removal, better for Nigeria. All marketers. And the last rider says domestic refining of fuel critical, CPPE. Okay, I have this one also. It says treason and campaign of APC spokesman damaging Nigeria. Okay, and I have this one still on the front page of the Vanguard newspaper. We have no power to track leak phone conversation. NCC. That story is on page 4 of the Vanguard newspaper. Bandits insist on payment of 100 million naira ransom to free 56 abductees. Kill monarch. Okay, that's a sad one. That sad note, I will like to match the breaks here. Over to you, Favor.
All right, taking this one from the Nation newspaper, wreck in governorship election bribe mess, as we have our attempt to smuggle ballot paper was foiled. Governor RC goes tough on disco's over meters. Federal government OB Dati's action treasonable, pose integrity intact, showing Christ Dati CV chart. OB denies it all. Reps orders condemn interim government clothes, and we also have BDC's A Treasury looting terrorism, says agency. And now we have this one on Finland joins NATO, Russia protests, as we have Trump pleading not guilty to 34 felony counts. We'll be back to talk more. The saying goes, let sleeping dogs lie, but still there is also another one that says raise something. Well, we have this one on Obi. Yes, he has been talking. We made people say that he should have just kept quiet after the presidential election. But aside from that, there is also a bid in the senatorial house, and that's the senatorial seat. There is this one from Osita Izunazo, who is saying that I am the most senior and I have the qualifications
and all the experience
to be
needed
the
next Senate president.
Everyone wants to be the Senate President.
Discuss the issues concerning the 10th Senate. It was discussed extensively. If I'm the oldest senator in both Southeast and South-South, I think the question should be obvious. I'm the oldest. There is no senator today in APC of Southeast or South-South that's older than me in the Senate. And that is an institution that believes in ranking. So I'm the highest ranking senator in both Southeast and South-South. I came to the Senate in 2007. I was in the House of Reps. I've been in the party for 5 good solid years. I ran the party to the best of my ability as National Organizing Secretary of this party that saw us a victory in 2015 and 2019. So I think we have paid our dues.
Welcome back from that burning issue, that sound. But we have Dr. Cornerstone right here, who is going to take us through the newspaper headlines and who's going to do in-depth analysis on the stories this morning. Good morning to you, Dr. Cornerstone.
Good morning to you, Ava.
Good morning.
How are you today?
I'm very fine, thank you. Happy New Month to you.
Same to you.
All right, good morning, sir. Nice to have you on the program.
Mr. Lafenwa, how are you today, sir?
I'm doing very well. I'm doing very fine as well. Thank you very much. Okay, we have quite a number of issues to discuss this morning, but let's take it from the sound we played just now. That is the voice of Senator Osita Isunazo, representing the Imo West Senatorial Constituency, saying that he is the oldest when it comes to experience from the South-South and the Southeast,
from the APC.
From the APC at the Senate, and he's the most qualified for the post of the Senate President. What's your take on that?
Well, I think my take on that is simple. The case. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Loud and clear.
Okay. The case for which they are already judging for the Senate is in court. Until the government is constituted, the executive part of government is constituted, we shouldn't, I don't think we have, it's already too early to be talking about what the aftermath of the court proceedings will be, except, and of course, they already know from the evidence, but I do not think why somebody should be judging for becoming the Senate President now, knowing full well that there are clear evidences based on the petitions that five political parties have submitted now, that there are clear evidences where the candidates had infractions, and so I do not think why somebody should be looking forward to becoming the president. I mean, the Senate President now, knowing full well that the case is in court. I think what they should probably be looking forward to now is cases relating to how they can probably be able to convince the court that the elections are held in 2023, February 25 was not a selection process. You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I do not really believe in this justly. For me, it's too early, and it's, for me, it's not important now.
Okay. Let's move away from that and let's talk about an issue that virtually all the newspapers are talking about this morning, and that is the issue of treason allegation or treason charges. And there's this one that came out on the front page of the Punch newspaper this morning. Alhaji Lai Mohammed made a pronouncement yesterday, like a warning, trying to caution the LP presidential candidate.
Nigeria, from Washington, D.C.
Telling him that his comments and utterances lately amounting to treasonable stuff like that. What's your take on that?
Well, I want to say that there is still free speech in Nigeria, and for me, I don't think the Obi as a presidential candidate has made any statement relating to what you can say is treasonable felony. Any statement made so far is in line with Section 134 of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Let's look at the one Dati actually made. The statement
made by Dati
a few days ago, a few weeks ago,
candidate.
saying that.
Okay, can I tell you what Dati said? I will tell you. You don't have to repeat it.
Okay, please do.
Dati was speaking in relation to the constitution relating to Section 134 of the Federal Republic of Nigeria's constitution, the Constitution of Nigeria, not just the Federal Republic of, the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And he was of the view that the constitution as written in that particular section of the constitution stands interpreted, and that if they will go ahead and constitute the government without looking at that constitution, but recognized by the Constitution of Nigeria. And I want to let you know that it's not only that. Is it because he's the one contesting? It's not only that held that same position. And I don't know the grounds on which such kind of a pronouncement. A government that is unconstitutional is unconstitutional. The statement by that part of the Constitution, I would want to repeat it for repetition's sake because I'm analyzing now. Number one, this is not sub judice. It's not saying it's now in court, then it requires a better interpretation. The answer to that Constitution is very, very simple. 37 people, some lawyers have argued. You might have to give me time so I actually sit down and analyze these things, so that we don't have more questions. Number one, and I believe that that must have spoken the mind of so many Nigerians, and also has spoken the mind of so many lawyers, and also has spoken very plainly. I don't believe that those of us in studio now or who are listening to me will be looking for a situation whereby in Nigeria an unconstitutional government will be constituted in Nigeria. It's not different from a military government. And what the Constitution says about the Nigerian elections is that 25% of the state and the Federal Capital Territory. A lot of people have come to say the Federal Capital Territory is the 37th state in Nigeria. And the response to that is that it is not true. The Federal Capital Territory does not have the characters of a state and will not have. A state government has a governor governing it. The Federal Capital Territory does not have a governor in its stead. The state government has laws made for it by its National Assembly. The Federal Capital does not have so. So whilst we were voting for our governors and House of Assembly elections in March 18, the people in Abuja were seated at home. Meaning that if you are talking about a state, what in that area, if you are saying that, it's equality of voting. Now, the constitution based on that section 134 is just saying now that such a kind of lacuna is already there, that the person who is living in the Federal Capital Territory cannot decide who leads him because a minister will be appointed for him. You get me? For his local government, I hope you are listening to me.
Yes, we are.
For his local government, they don't have local government, they have municipal council. It is administrators that will be appointed by the minister who is appointed by the federal government. An appointment is not ever a representation of the people. And so in that regard, the Constitution clearly says at least 25% of the people who do the voting in Abuja should at least have a say about who comes to govern them.
Okay.
I don't think that is difficult to understand. And I think whatever reason, sir, I stand to be corrected, whatever pronouncement does not take that into consideration is making the government that will come out of it unconstitutional.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? This is what the statement...
Okay, go ahead, please.
This is the statement. It's simple. 36 people, let 35 people show up. Plus Jonathan. If 24 people show up and Jonathan didn't show up, it's not complete. Federal Capital Territory is a name different from 37 states. And the character of Federal Capital Territory has never and will never equate it to a state in Nigeria.
Okay, now all this are truly in the Constitution. Fine. But I'm still more concerned about the statement.
Because, hello, sir, please. Yeah. Because the major legal luminaries who have spoken about this have used that provision in the Constitution that there is equality of humans in Nigeria. Yeah. Okay, if you say there is equality of humans in Nigeria and the states will cast votes in March 18, what equality was the people in
on a TV station.
Okay.
He said, swearing in Bola Tinubu is as good as swearing in the army. Another one he said, this democracy will end on the 29th of May. Those statements, weren't they to ash?
And not forgetting it is
My guy, let me tell you this. Those statements, you could probably clarify them as good statements. Let me tell you.
As what?
Listen,
As what?
I could probably classify them as bold statements.
Bold statements?
Or emotional
Yeah,
ones.
they were bold
Are they
statements.
not
Listen,
inciting
let me
violence?
finish you. Excuse me, who has been the right? Once something incites violence, from the day it is said till now, you will not even have the opportunity of doing this interview. Which violence has been incited, sir? You can speak to me right now. I can speak freely because there's no violence on the street. The people who have actually asked if they are taking the course, I'm not practicing. I didn't go to law school. But I am saying, if I was a lawyer, listening to me, that would be my argument. The argument is this. If you say the Constitution says equal opportunity, equal rights, equal humans in Nigeria, what happened in March 18 in Abuja? The thing is, the voting I was voting here, was the man in Abuja also doing the same thing? If the answer is no, how does the Constitution provide that where he was not able to do so, at least he is also still being satisfied?
Now, someone saying the
You understand what I'm saying? So I can only speak, no sir, wait sir, I can only speak benefit of what the Constitution provides.
Yes.
You understand what I'm saying?
Having that
What is in Nigeria is 36 states of the Federation and the FCT. That's what is in Nigeria. You cannot come today and say it's a different thing.
But does that warrant
Have we started having 37 states of the FCT,
a statement on a live television show saying that democracy will end on the 29th of May?
My brother, the thing is this, I still say it as a bold statement. Okay. Democracy is already being threatened by the statement that he has already won and being declared. There is no reason and enough ground to argue this case. What is in Nigeria is 36 states of the Federation, and the reason why we have a statement over it. Listen, so that we will not just start arguing this.
Okay.
The reason why he has got a reason to speak over it is because there's already a document saying it. If there's no document saying it, then you leave it to the courts. The document is already saying it. That's why we don't call him as
phone conversation was trending all over Nigeria. And the NCC,
I can't hear you well.
Can you hear me now? Can you hear me, Dr. Konusa?
Yes.
Speaking of the law, over the weekend, a particular clip was trending in Nigeria, and that's the conversation between, an alleged conversation between Peter Obi and Bishop David Oyedepo. As at yesterday, the NCC has come out to say that they do not track phone conversations between Nigerians. Now, the question is, if the NCC doesn't track, where did that conversation come from? And now, how authentic is that conversation?
Now, we had thank God that the NCC had come to say it is never its responsibility to track anybody's conversation. Yeah, because I, for one, I will declare three things here. One, I also have seen that video. That voice note. Okay. Yeah. Once I saw the voice note, the first question I asked myself is, who will tap and a ringtone started the conversation. So you knew I wanted to make a call, and then okay, this is the person and this person are the one talking. Let's record it. And also the ringtone entered. What if I'm using a ringtone when it is a music that plays?
Are you insinuating that probably it was doctored?
Was it even a ringtone?
Well, that is the way to start it. Communication. That's the second thing I want to say. If that thing is proven to be right in Nigeria, it means I will have to be afraid of the calls I'm making to you right now.
I was going to ask you that question on Monday.
Yeah, because
how safe is our conversation
because
now?
It's a call I'm speaking to you right now, though it is everybody's hearing it. If it is true that call was tapped, then it means I'm afraid I might have to return my my phone number to the people and say, no, that's number two. Number three, if you have to use what a person discussed privately and brought it to the fore, it therefore means we'll have to ask ourselves the number of the person who was called and the number of the person who is calling. Let's know the network they belong to, so that we can probably start advising ourselves whether we should start looking for a boycott. These particular networks are not safe. When you speak privately to your person, these calls can be tapped.
And made public.
Then the number three thing is this: the content of that discussion is never anything that anybody wants to use to call cheap public blackmail. Because for the purpose of declaring what somebody said by...
Dr. Kuniston, are you here?
Hello, are you there?
Okay, while we're trying to establish a connection back with Dr. Kuniston, remember that you can go live on our Facebook page, Solutions 939 FM, Solutions 939 FM, to drop your comments. But very soon, just write the number down. We won't open the phone lines now. We'll open it very soon, but just write it down. 0909 88 is underestimated, or it was underestimated for the election. And he's actually proving it that he could have just let sleeping dogs lie instead of just, rousing some kind of tensions in the whole political sphere. Well, Dr. Kuniston will join us very soon and answer that question, and we'll move over to some other, topics. Yesterday as well, there was the abduction at a particular state in Nigeria, and I was like, I thought we were over all of this, the abductions, the especially school kids. Well, after we heard about the Chibok and everything, why is it that another one is going on at Kaduna again? These questions keep popping up. Do not stay tuned to dial. It's Solutions 939 FM.
I wanted to say about the issue of that video is that now that the NCC has come to say that it did not order or approve or sanction such kind of message, it means the people who actually brought it up was looking for sentiment, and it dies as sentiment. Whatever they were trying to whip up, for which anything was doctored or such video was recorded, voice note was recorded, is still a private information and is still under a private information. Whoever acts on it, those are the ones we will expect the Minister of Communication to speak on. I get what I'm saying. Yes, not something relating to a constitution that has not been vacated, for which all of us can still be able to speak. It is a petition that is in court, not constitution.
Okay.
I want to ask you, as I bring this to discussion to a closer, if you want to describe Nigeria to anybody in this world, how would you call it? Let me help you. It is Nigeria is made up of 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. Two of us. Why don't therefore call Nigeria 36 states alone? You will not be correct. Why call Nigeria 37 states also? You will not be correct. And the Constitution has said so, 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. Whoever wants to take us away from this analysis is probably forcing unconstitutionality on us. Okay. Thank you. I rest my case.
Let's rest our case on that.
While you were away, I may not be able to rest it here. While you were away, I asked a question and I was like, okay, so throughout the campaign period, nothing was brought out, on Peter Obi that could actually be something to tarnish his image. Why is it that it's when the case has been taken to court and he keeps talking that something like this pops up, against Peter Obi? Is it that
Favour,
he didn't let
there's
sleeping?
not
Hold
a-
on. Is it that he
listen,
didn't let
hello?
sleeping dogs lie, as people would say, or is just rousing some tensions in the political sphere?
Let me tell you this, Favour. Let's put the record straight here. As long as I am concerned, and a lot of people also share in this ideology, nothing has tarnished the image of Peter Obi. As long as the NCC has come to deny that clip, that voice note, it means to date nothing has tarnished the image of Peter Obi. It's not been done while contesting, and it's not now that we will use that sort of message, that sort of voice note to say this one has come to tarnish the image of Peter Obi. Whoever tarnishes the image of Peter Obi must be something that is of three parts. Number one, against the Constitution of Nigeria, against the right to life of the Nigerians, and the right to liberty to Nigeria, and the right to freedom of information. Those are the things you can say will have tarnished the image of the man we are talking about. A voice note is too cheap to tarnish the person, whereby the people who are the monitorers, the people who are the regulators of voices of communication in this country, says it distances itself from that note, and if it has done, I believe the Lord distances itself. I believe everything else distances, because if the people who are the regulators find reason to accept that voice note as what emanated from the communication networks in Nigeria, it therefore means they will be willing to therefore tell us what law makes me to do a private discussion and be safe.
Okay.
Because there is a law that actually supports the right to privacy in Nigeria.
Okay, Dr. Cornerstone, just before we let you go, there are two issues which I would like us to briefly talk about because of our time, and I would like to make the question two in one. There are two issues concerning the NLC, that's Nigeria Labour Congress, this morning. One is about saying that, okay, let me read the first one. It says, Naira crisis, cash circulation low, NLC tells CBN. But this is where I'm actually going to. Subsidy removal will set Nigeria on fire, NLC warns government. What's your take on that?
Well, I think that the government of the day actually wants to leave a whole lot of whether problems or solutions for the coming government. One of them is the removal of the subsidy, and I hear that it's going to be 740. If at 420 Nigerians had difficulty buying fuel, and it took inflation from probably 15% or 9% to 740. You see, that's why we are saying that people who should govern in all facets of life should be people who have the wings and the capacities and the capacity and have the nation at heart for our progress. Well, it still remains to be said today that it is after the NLC gave the CBN an ultimatum that if you people do not rectify the issue of the Naira scarcity, we will drop our jobs. And we now finally saw that the money that we were told were bonds are now alive, they were not bonds. Well, let's also see the level to which NLC can actually let them put on the better thinking card to rectify these issues.
NLC actually made a suggestion to the federal government, saying that they should focus more on resuscitating the refineries, local refining, instead of removal of subsidy. What's your take on that, just before we let you go?
Well, that's what it should have been ideal for a nation that has oil under its soil, but as though it's the people who are at the helm of affairs feel that the oil is only to be removed from Nigeria, gone elsewhere to refine, and then brought back at exorbitant amounts. It's actually I don't understand the economy the government is supposed to look into, but just last week, I think 3 days ago, there was a story that in the last 3 quarters, Nigeria had borrowed about 3.2 billion, 3.2 trillion naira just for 3 months. So you wonder what kind of fiscal federalism the government of the day is practicing, that it wants to hand over to another government. Our prayer has always been that Buhari will not finish governing this nation, and one day we'll look back and say, God, we were good at the time of Buhari.
Okay, on that note, we'd like to say a big thank you to you, Dr. Cornerstone, for being a part of the program this morning. We hope to connect with you on Friday for another edition of the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you very
We're
much.
speaking with Dr. Theophilus Cornerstone, who has been analyzing various some of the topics or the issues raised in some of today's national dailies. We'll be right back after this time out.
For this Naija wey we dey so, say you no hold cash no mean say wahala dey o. You wan send money to Male for Villa, just use Momo. You wan buy recharge card or data plus jollificate 15% bonus when you recharge, just use Momo. You wan pay for market where you buy, just use Momo. You fit use Momo run plenty things without cash. As long as you get Momo account, no cash, no wahala. And e dey easy to open o. Just dial *671# to open Momo account o. Set your PIN, transfer money from your bank account or inside your Momo account to fiam make you fit dey pay for anything, send and receive money sharp because life dey simple with Momo. You go jollificate 15% bonus anytime you recharge with Momo.
Kadara, destiny. Who decides where we are born?
Gangs of Lagos na the ogbonge tori of Isaleko Street King, Obalola and Chike, Iyabojo and plenty big names dem. Chai! Gangs of Lagos na correct film. Download Prime Video now. Make you sef enjoy 7-day free trial. Terms and conditions dey o. Oh yeah, jackpot to Prime Video.
News, sports, entertainment. Top 100 music on your Remedy Radio dial. Solutions 93.9.
Do not touch that dial.
9, 3, 9. Watima what?
Tomorrow foods, love at first bite.
Ó ga jù àwọn súwìtì tí iléeṣẹ́ ẹ̀sùn máa ṣe ẹrẹ́bẹ̀ntẹ́mọ̀nì ká máa lá súwìtì báyìí ká gbàgbé ìrònú kò sí kọ́ kò sí kàtá vitamíìkì coffee bite candy crush bẹ́ẹ̀ náà ni bisikíìtì wa tó o bá ti jẹ́ báyìí tó o bomi lé lórí ara rẹ̀ á sì balẹ̀ pẹ̀sẹ̀ right cracker ni beast crunchy ni lunch pack fiber active cabin lucky chewing gum wa ó dùn lẹ́nu ó bùyàrì world cup chewing gum ni robot zoom ọ̀ọ̀kì yálé búrẹ́dì wọn ó wà ń bẹ̀ gbogbo ilé ìtajà pátá ó nà mọ̀lẹ́tì lè ríra o oúnjẹ sùnmọ́ tọ̀wọ̀ kó o gbádùn rẹ̀ dọ́ba.
Tomorrow foods, love at first bite.
Feel it! Sórí wáyà yẹn 93.9 FM.
We break down the facts of news, delivering the latest information, playing the coolest of music, giving you the best of entertainment. This is 93.9 FM. We are the solutions. We are the remedy.
Your number one remedy dial.
Welcome back. It is AM update right here at Solutions 93.9 FM. Right this moment, it's time for you to make use of the phone lines that was given out earlier: 0909 88 89939 and 0912 2222 939. 0909 88 89939 and 0912 22 939. You can also drop your comments on Facebook.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
My name is Philip from Odija.
Okay, let's have your contribution, please.
Okay, concerning the dirty statement, I think it's very, very bad for such a candidate to make such statements. Even though I believe in the Peter Obi, I was really rooting for him to go all the way. But however, when I read Dirty statements, I think I found it very, very sad. It's quite inciting, and it sets a very dangerous trend, which I think should be condemned. But I was more disappointed.
Oh, please call back. We would like to get more of your opinion on that issue this morning. Remember 0909 88 89 939 and 0912 22 22 939.
And you can also drop your comment on our Facebook page, that is Solutions 939 FM. Feel free to drop your comments. I can see some comments already dropping on the Facebook page. Please keep your comments dropping. And the numbers to call 0909 888 9939 and 0912 222 2939. Like I was telling Dr. Cornerstone the other time, I said even if you have issues with the way INEC announced a result of the election, since you have proof, you feel you have proof that you were being rigged out of the election or out of victory, violence and stuff like that. Okay, I have this one coming from Olamuyijo Oyeleke on our Facebook page. It says phone calls means the track to be Pastor Oyedepo phone conversation was not real. Does a robbery incident by a fake policeman or the numbers to call 0909 888 9939 and 0912 222 2939.
Amade Adekunle, you said interim government can never be possible without the influence of people in power. If there is any plot for interim government at all, then
Facebook, when what's the name, talking about interim government, you are not the one to decide that. Let the court decide that. And it sounds funny to me. Hello, are you there?
Yeah, we are with you. We are with you.
Now, it sounds funny to me. When you won in Lagos, you celebrated. Or when you lost in Lagos, either by crook or whatever means they did, you are complaining. The same election you claim not to be free and fair, those of your party people that contested in the House of Rep and the National Assembly that won the election, you collected the certificate and you congratulated them for a non-free and fair election. Does that make sense? Lastly, about the petroleum or the petrol subsidy,
removal.
My brother, the last refinery that was built in Nigeria was built in 1980s. Am I right?
Yes.
So, and you are still expecting solution from the same federal government that could not build refinery since 1999 till date to build new refinery? There's something we call double protection in electrical installation. Double protection means if one protection device fails, there should be another that will not fail. That is why we have the federal government, we have the state government, and we have the local government. Where the federal government fails to attend to the needs of the people, the state should stand for that responsibility. Where the state fails, the local government should be the one to fix the problem of the people. Unfortunately, in Nigeria, we know that they have silenced our our local government. So I think the solution I'm expecting now should be from the state governors. My brother, my sister, is it impossible for the Southwest governors to come together and build modular refinery? Is it impossible, sir?
Another question is it that expensive to build new refineries, judging by the amount of money that Nigeria keeps borrowing over the years, and no government has ever thought of building more refineries all these years?
Not one.
And we borrow a lot of money to do other projects, but building new refineries was never on the agenda.
On their list. Now, can I say something? I know many people will say it's not true, it's an allegation. The security vote coming to Oyo State every month, mark my word, every month is between 800 million to 1 billion naira. Every month. Now, from that security vote in a year, we are having let's say 20 billion naira. In 4 years of our governor, that means we have 80 billion naira as security vote alone. Alone. Ejo is not modular refinery. That the Yoruba governors cannot come together and build one. The Igbo governors or the southwestern governors cannot come together and build one.
But there are other projects.
Or even the south governors too.
I even want to split them into 4 regions. The southwest, the southeast, the northeast, and the northwest. Let them come together and build 4 modular refineries. Let the federal government decide to import cocoa. I'm less concerned. If the federal government is now importing their own fuel and at the end of the liter at the pump price is around 120 naira, why? Fine, no problem. But because we are refining our own locally, the cost of transportation, you know that one is out already. Because we are transporting them within the southwest. At the end of the day, our own petrol could be as cheap as 70 naira. Do I need to buy the federal government fuel when I have a cheaper one? So I will keep saying this. Our governors are lazy. I'm sorry to use that word, but I don't know the perfect or the most packaged word to use. But they are lazy, and they are the ones killing us more.
No, I don't want to say they are. I wouldn't like us to say they are.
There are other projects.
Okay.
And
Probably they have just not been thinking towards that.
Let me use professional words. They are not standing up to their responsibility. Is that one good enough?
Well, I'm still against that because probably, as a governor, you have so many things on your table. Probably they've not been able to make what you suggested a priority. Because obviously most of these governors are engaging in so many other projects.
Petrol is a priority in a country where there is no electricity.
Likewise, other things too, like health and education and everything too.
Okay, I don't want to go into much.
I get your point. Actually, I get your point.
Let them put on their thinking cap and fix this problem. At least this thing has been deregulated years ago. That people can come with their own refinery. That's why Dangote is building his own refinery. Let them do this thing and help the citizens. Leave the federal government alone. They have proven to you that since 1999 they cannot build refinery. Then take up the responsibility. Thank you.
Thank
you very much from Akala Express there. We really appreciate your comment there. Remember 0909 88 89939 and 0912 22 939. Before that call, you were talking about the
Naira crisis. It's been over 2 months now, if I'm not mistaken, and since the judgment was pronounced by the Supreme Court, it's over a month, and by now, if anyone had told me that as of this morning we'll still be having huge queues at banks, I would have said no. But unfortunately, as we speak, some people are actually listening to us on the queue.
The thing is, before the cash crunch, there's always been queues in banks. Although for a different reason, I understand.
Well, for different reasons.
Although for a different reason.
And not all banks, actually. Not all banks.
I understand not all banks, but it's a standard fact. It's something that we all know. You go to the bank, you queue. But it's just that the amount of people going to banks right now, or people going to banks, are just so much. Remember the problem we talked about last week? People taking money out of banks, not returning it to the banks. Definitely, it is going to be a huge problem in the society. If you take money out of the bank and you do not return it, you will still see queues everywhere. So it's just a matter of let this circulate. and everything will be fine.
Favor, let me ask you, let me put you on a hot seat this morning.
Mhm.
If anyone gives you, let's say, 70,000 or 100,000 naira cash this morning, will you ever contemplate taking the few notes that you need for immediate running up there, doing transactions, and probably think of taking the rest to the bank?
If anyone gives me 70,000 naira at this moment, I have things that I want to use the cash to do. So I am going to dispense that cash, get the goods and the service that I need, thereby, making sure the economy is stable, meaning that I am not hoarding that cash. I'm dispensing and it's circulating.
Okay, so that means if you have any excess cash that you are not really using, you're taking it to the bank wouldn't be an option at the moment.
It's going to be an option. I'll put it there.
Okay.
But I will just think twice about putting everything. I'm going to put it there.
Why would you think twice?
I have experienced not having cash
Is that
for
confessional?
for 2 months. But definitely, I'm going to put it there. I'm going to drop it
But
there.
honestly,
and leave some
sadly,
for
the last
for
time
my,
I
for my use.
the last time I witnessed this kind of a huge crowd at the banks was during this COVID-19 restriction, where you had to go into the banks with your nose mask, and a limited number of people will be allowed into the banks. That was the
In fact,
last
there will
time.
be spacing.
Ahead, the spacing, that was the last time I experienced this. But as at this morning, as at yesterday morning, you'll see people already sitting down. The way if you usually pass this challenge route down to Molete,
I do
Challenge,
every morning.
you don't want to see the number of people already queuing up at these banks even before as early as 7 a.m. You see them sitting on the pavement or by the roadside, and it's sometimes. And another thing came out in the newspaper this morning, which I just remembered now. They said, let me look for that.
Is it on NLC?
No, it's not on NLC. It's like it's about the likely return. It's Tinubu presidency. Sanusi may return as CBN governor. Well, I would have liked Dr. Cornerstone to talk about that too, but maybe that will be saved till Friday when he's on the.
Yeah, let's look at it now. What's the history of Sanusi Lamido?
He was
as the CBN governor.
Yeah, he was the immediate past CBN governor.
How was his tenure?
Well, we didn't experience this cash crunch.
Every administration has its own peculiarities. We already know the Emefiele administration as the cashless policy / Kosi cash era.
But let's give it to Sanusi. During his tenure, he came up with so many fine policies, and which makes him, and he's one of the outstanding past CBN governors we've had.
Okay, so Sanusi began his banking career in 1985, and he was hired by a merchant bank, and then later on we have his tenure initiating something like the extensive banking reforms termed as Sanusi Tsunami. The reforms are built around 4 pillars: enhancing the quality of banks, establishing financial stability, enabling healthy financial sector evolution, and ensuring that financial sector contributes to the real economy. Sanusi developed a cashless policy as well, whereby financial transactions are not conducted with money in the form of physical banknotes or coins, but rather through transfer or digital information, usually an electronic representation of money between the transaction partners. He also introduced and supported the establishment of Islamic banking in Nigeria, a move which was criticized by the Christian Association of Nigeria. Well, he also clashed with the National Assembly over the budgetary spending of 25% of all government revenues, and rejected the International Monetary Fund instance for a currency devaluation. He also advised the government on the removal of fuel subsidy. I think this is where this whole thing started. Removal of fuel subsidy, which, when he argued, engendered a culture of high-level corruption and economic inefficiency. The removal of the subsidy was unpopular and led the Occupy Nigeria movement which called for his resignation. Now, if this is the history of this man called Sanusi Lamido, I see some things that are good. At least let's look at it, the financial stability, enabling financial sector evolution and all.
And another notable thing he was able to achieve, he increased the capital basis of all banks. Then I think he gave them a particular limit that as a bank you must have this as your basic capital, and that was what led to most banks folding up. Who couldn't meet up to that? We experienced the banks merging, this bank buying another bank, like I don't want to mention names now, merging just to make sure they're able to meet up with this capital base, which customers can be rest assured that if this bank folds up, my money is still safe. I think that was one of his achievements as a CBN governor. But I'm not here to canvass or to campaign.
It's not about canvassing. It's about seeing if this is going to be good for the economy of Nigeria as a whole. If it's returned under the administration of the president-elect will be a good one for Nigeria, or might just be another difficult one. But we hope if he comes back as the CBN governor, it's going to be fine in Nigeria.
And let's keep hoping that this Nigeria crisis will be resolved in no time. Okay, it's about time for us to start wrapping things up on the program. It's been AM update on Solutions 93.9. The comments we got on our Facebook, we have Oluwatimileyin, Oluwadamilare, Olamuyejo Oyeleke, Ogbeni Odeyemi Omokure, Omade Adekunle, you read that earlier, Agumbi Ade Sherif, and Shegun Afolabi, and those who called in, and for everyone that tuned in to listen to the program, thank you very much. We'll be back again tomorrow.
Before we go, we can do something for you so that you can enjoy yourself throughout today. Give us a few moments. We'll be back. Right from 12 p.m. today, there is going to be slightly hot and cloudy weather. It's at 33 degrees. At 1 p.m., it's going to increase to 34 degrees, sunny. And then we also have this one by 2 p.m., 35 degrees, sunny, dropping, very hot. It's going to drop by 3 p.m. at 34 degrees. We have some kind of a cloudy weather, some kind of drop again by 5 p.m., 32, dropping by 6 p.m. to 31. And then by night, 29 degree. 29 degree, it's going to become a little bit okay, warm and fine for you. 20 degree, 26 degree by 9 p.m., 10 p.m., 26 degree, 11 p.m., 25 degree. And we see that we get back to another day again and see how the weather goes. And that is how the weather goes. No rain, but sunshine.
Okay, no rain, but sunshine. Okay, it's going to be a bright, sunshiny day.
Yeah, it's a bright, sunny day today, right here in Ibadan, or your state, Nigeria. My name is Favor Olorotola. We're wrapping up in this corner this morning.
And my name is Ade Damala Lafewa. Once again, I'm wishing you a winning Wednesday. Good morning.
Good morning. Remember, do not do what I cannot do.
Purchase your tracks today.
93.9 FM.